What's up, folks? What am I going to talk about today? First things first, my bedrock sandal took a shit. Last night. Like I said, I got nothing really to complain about because I've pretty much worn them every day since I got them. I must have got them in June or July. I've been wearing them ever since. And we're talking like walking around town, right? But then loose gravel on the trails, running. Should they last longer than 10 months? I don't know. I don't think I don't know if any other pair of huaraches like this have lasted that long. I have a pair from this place where I met the guy in Sedona and he measured my foot, and I told him I'd get back to him, and when I got back to him, he traced it with he traced my foot on a paper bag. When I ordered them, I asked him, I go, do you still have my foot trace? He's like, yeah, sure do, buddy. I'm like, good. I went to Etsy and I ordered these sandals, and he's like, we lost your foot trace. Can you what size do you wear? And that's the exact reason why, two reasons why I bought from this guy. One was because he had my exact foot measurement and trace. He did it himself. The other reason was every shoe never fits me. These bedrock sandals that I have don't fit, and they're the biggest size I have. And in most cases, when I say what size shoe I mean, I can't just say, oh, I wear a 14 or I wear a 13 or whatever the case is, because they change and I don't know. So he said, if you're ever in it, oh, I saw the guy in Sedona. Kind of winked at each other and like, hey man, hey. And we didn't say what. I was in the van, I think he was outside. We just kind of pointed at each other. That's what reminded me that I was gonna buy those sandals, to shout out to him. Anyways, I'm not bitching it. He's a nice guy. He just misplaced my trace, but here's the thing. All I gotta do is get it to him, but how do I do it, right? He sent me an address. All I gotta do is trace my foot on fucking paper bag and mail it to him. Problem is, even though the VA disagrees, I have ADD. And that means little simple tasks like that continuously get put off, right? They continuously get put off. So even though I know that all I have to do is trace my foot on this brown paper bag and mail it to the guy, not a hard task at all, it gets put off and has been put off. And now I wish I had it because my sandal broke. I'll give you another example of what happens with people with ADD. Another example of this inability to complete a task. Simple task. My concealed carry permit expired. My concealed carry permit expired. So I wrote the Arizona Department of whatever and found out how to renew it, how to get it renewed. And what resulted from that was they mailed me a form, and I had to get fingerprints and mail my form off, and that took forever, right? That itself took forever. Filled out my application, got my money order, blah blah blah. Finally got my fingerprints done. And people were asking me, did you get your CCW renewed yet? I'm like, no. I finally bit the bullet and did it. Oh, I didn't have $60 or whatever the cost was to renew it. I was waiting for that too. I finally bit the bullet and I got the stupid, mailed everything in, and the fingerprints, because they weren't on the Arizona Department of whatever's cards that they sent me, they sent it back. So I had to get fingerprints the old-fashioned way. I got it in St. Louis. They did it digitally, printed it out, paid for whatever that cost, paid for that shit. But they had it on the Arizona forms. Had to be on the Arizona form. Well, one day, so I put it in my backpack and it sits there. And one day, I'm in Arizona. So I think, and I call the place where I took my CCW class, and I said, where do I want to go for coffee today? And $20, gave me, fingerprinted me for $20, and I put that in my backpack. And I'd say that about a year later, I finally took the damn thing out, changed my mailing address, and put it in the mail. All I had to do was put it in the mail. I had to white out the address where I was living in St. Louis that I put on there. I had to white that out, and that was it. That was all I had to do, was white that out, because I had my regular address, which is my dad's house. It's always my dad's house. It's where all my mail goes. I get very little mail. My regular address, and had shipping address. Well, at this time I was living in 2015, January 2016, I left that apartment, right? January 2016, I left that apartment. So all I had to do was white out that address, because you know on forms when they say if mailing address is different than home address, please indicate. So all I had to do was white it out and put that envelope in the mail. It took over a year. It took over a year for me to white that out and put that envelope in. And it sat in my backpack, and the envelope that the envelope was in started to get all tattered, and it just was. And it's hard. It seems kind of weird. Oh, that's what I was thinking about all morning. Like I said, I wake up in the morning, but I don't get up. I just lay there for a long time. And one of the things I'm thinking about is this little, say it's little, but having a personality disorder or a mental disorder, and having people ignore it. That's why I'm so pissed off about the fucking psychologist at the VA who gave me a general diagnosis, which I feel gave me that diagnosis because he's still like what do you call it, resident or intern or whatever. He didn't want to be specific enough to misdiagnose me, to be wrong. So he gave me a general one, and the general one doesn't mean shit. Doesn't mean to help you. And that's a frustrating thing, and that's what I was thinking about this morning, is people just dismiss your problems. They don't take you seriously, and they blow you off. And it's hard, especially mountain. Those clouds are so thick over there. It looks like snow cap. It looks like that is a snow cap mountain. Wow. It kind of hurts when people don't take you seriously. They don't believe you, or they brush it off. Like, ignore it. Don't worry about it. Trust me. If I could ignore the sound that's going on in the background while I'm trying to have a conversation, I would ignore it. I would love for it not to bother me. I would love for it not to drive me nuts. I would love for the person playing music on their iPhone while I'm trying to watch TV or while I'm trying to have a conversation with somebody or anything else. I would love to be able to ignore that. When you tell people these things bother you, they're like, blow you off. It really hurts when you tell people that are close to you or people that you love, people that you would hope would understand you, and they blow you off too. Just ignore it. There's nothing wrong with you. That's weird. It's nothing. You're making this up in your head. No, I'm not. Anyways, I need to go to that Rocky Mountain Anglers and get some new flies. Today's definitely a fishing day. Today's definitely a fishing day, buddy. Definitely a fishing day. So, goddamn kids. Can you imagine taking a city bus to school? I never thought about that. Anyways, all of that came from when fucking huaraches breaking. But I got lots to talk about. Lots. I'm not gonna have enough time. I'm already running out of time. Today's Wednesday, so the display of my books should go up at Boulder Bookstore. And remember the barista who I said would probably like fall in love with me when she found out I was an author, but I didn't have a chance to talk to her because she left at the bookstore. Well, guess who's one of those people who on her days off goes to work. So I saw her at the cafe that I went to. She wasn't working. She came in for a little cortado or something. So I saw her, but I had to pee real bad. So I went in the bathroom and I went to the bathroom. And then I came back out and I saw her. I was like, hey, how you doing? So I'm like, what did you get? What books did you get? She goes, oh, I didn't get a book. I just got a card or something. Oh, okay. She goes, what were you doing? Were you getting? And I was like, oh, I was dropping off some books. She's like, oh, what? Like what books? Oh no, my books. They're gonna be on display there. Exactly how I thought that would play out. Exactly how I thought that would play out. Oh, what did you write? I'm like, well, I wrote this story about a girl. I go, you know what? Do you want to see it? She's like, when is it gonna? Oh, first she was like, when is it gonna be there? I definitely want to go check it out. I'm like, well, it's gonna be. She goes, what's the name of it? I'm like, you want to check it out? Because I always have a display. I always have a copy with me next to me. And I showed her. And she's like, oh, can I take a picture? I'm like, oh, yeah, you can take a picture. And she's like, oh my God, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go check it out when it's up on display. I'm like, dude, she was like, I totally would read it. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, you want to read that one? And she's like, yeah, oh my God, yeah, totally. So she took it with her. I'll see her again, I'm sure, because she works at the coffee shop that I love to go to. And we'll see what she thinks about my book. She said she'll give it back, so that's kind of cool. She didn't just assume I was giving it to her, which I kind of was. But she'll get it back. Which, if I sell, oh my God, I don't know why my phone doesn't let me load up longer than 15-minute videos, but I have to cut it off. And 14:48, 49, 14:50. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching my videos.